Howdy, friends. It's Dave, your hiking buddy, speaking to you from the global headquarters here in Cody, Wyoming. And today we're going to talk about apps, my favorite apps. So let's just jump right into it, okay? So let's start with chicken wings. Everybody loves wings. I like them really spicy. I'll even go for hummus if I'm in a healthy mood, but I can't stay away from the fried Brussels sprouts. I mean, they're just incredible. I got you. We're not talking about these apps. We're talking about mobile apps, right? Phone apps, software applications to put on your phone to help you be a better, more efficient, safer hiker before, during, and after your hike. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Not food apps, even though, hey, I love a good, jalapeno popper every now and then. We can talk about that later. But for right now, let's talk about hiking apps, okay? And specifically the ones that I use, maybe the ones I have used, and tell you what I don't like, do like, that kind of thing. So start on my website. It's hikingbuddy307.com. You should know that. Should be saved as a bookmark on your desktop, on your phone, right? So you can go right to it, because I'm always posting new stuff here, changing up little things on the website. Pretty much things have stayed the same. I add some more photos every now and then. I do change my hiking routes periodically, so check back here. If you haven't looked back in a couple months, I may add one here, may remove one. Kind of depends on what people are buying. Honestly, if nobody's interested in this one particular hike, I'll nuke it and add another one. Like this one, Cave Quest. I just added that. It's a nice little moderate 3-hour hike. You can book that right here on my website. Love to take you for a guided hike here in Cody. Got some great reviews. There's my permits, my partners. But at the very bottom of the page are my apps. So these are the 6 apps on my phone today that I use often. Some I use every time during my hiking, excuse me, excursions. That's what I was trying to say. So let's start with this. If you click on it, it'll just launch the web page, either on your phone, and then you can go to your, if you have Google, Android, iPhone, you have to go to that, that download page to download the actual app. So the experience on the desktop and the app may change a little bit. The app tends to be a little better. So what I'm showing you right now is going to be close to what you'll see on your actual phone. Let's start with Natural Atlas. This is was my go-to app for mapping, wayfinding, and finding trails near me. This I call a better all trails. It's more professionally designed. It's not as cluttered with garbage and just bad information and wrong information. This is misleading, like all trails, which I'll talk about in a second. This is my personal page. You can log on here. I have some that are open to the public that you can see, some hikes that I've taken. You could download the routes and you can go on yourself for free. And some of them are private. I've got 163 recorded trips over a couple of years. I love this app because it's designed by a couple Cody, Wyoming high school kids. I didn't even know that when I downloaded the app years ago. So I've kind of fallen in love with it because it's a local product of mine. But I've fallen away from it recently because it's not perfectly geared towards hiking and wayfinding and creating routes, which is what I do primarily. But if you're looking for a tool that can help you find hiking routes and established trails in your area, try Natural Atlas. It's got good stuff. Also, if you're into rocks, geology, plants, the flora, the fauna, the geographic landmarks, things like that, this app is great for that. If you're really into, identifying stuff and not just wayfinding and doing your elevation gain, your loss, and your number of, time duration on the trail, this thing is quite extensive. Where are waterfalls, rock formations, campgrounds? This thing is extensive. I don't even scratch the surface of this stuff, but it is good at telling you where maybe some hidden gem trails are at. See, that's where I started with this when I moved to here to Cody. I downloaded this, and all these brown lines are existing trails. They may not be very popular. A lot of these are hidden gems that they're not marked trails, they're not state parks. So check out Natural Atlas. I still like it. I still use it when I'm looking for new trails and areas. Okay, if I'm going to another city or something, I'll just go here, go to the map, and maybe type in a city and then zoom in on that city and look for these existing trails. Okay, so that's a good starting point. Now let's talk about All Trails. This is probably the most popular app out there. It's free. You can subscribe and get more benefits, but this one is notorious to be inconsistent and wrong. But I will, if I'm going to a new town, a new city, and I'm looking for trails in the area, I'll at least start here, like I have done when I go to Idaho or Montana or whatever. And this will at least tell me, okay, where are people going? Where are the areas to go to find good trails? So it'll at least tell you some good ones. But what I would tell you to stay away from is following these people's reviews. They're terrible. I mean, it's hit or miss. 50% maybe just incorrect. You're going on a 3-mile hike. Well, in fact, it's a 30-mile hike, and it's extreme, and you thought it was easy. You could get lost. So don't rely on All Trails. It's a good starting point to find trails, but more reliable as far as trail mapping and finding cool trails is Natural Atlas. Okay, check that out. Now, if you're into mapping, if you want to map your own trails and create your own, unique routes, which I do, then that's where I use Gaia GPS. Okay, and if you go on my page, you will see that I've got a profile here, and this is, if you click this link here, this little green mountain, this logs you into my page, my public page. I currently have 2 hiking routes that you can download. It shows you the distance, total time that's hiked, elevation gain, loss, and the specific route. So you can follow my footsteps on any of these public, free, trails that I've crafted for you guys to use. I've got a bunch of private stuff on here that I use for my tours that you can't see. But anyway, this is pretty cool stuff. And, you get some cool statistics. I only, cover 82 miles, 19,000 feet. I've only had this app for a few months, so it's getting some pretty good activity already. But in my opinion, this is geared more towards hikers. The app is super simple. One button, it starts the mapping, and then boom, to stop it, and boom, you calculate it. And just all sorts of different overlay features you can do. The layering here is cool. You can do your satellite view, which is pretty cool. And check this out. You can go old school USGS view, which is pretty sweet, right? I mean, I think that's neat. I'm into this stuff. You can find out where mines are at, open pits and old 4x4 roads. So I think it's a level up from All Trails and Natural Atlas. That's my preferred app for mapping new trails and really discovering new places. And I just think their design of their app far superior. Okay, that's enough about maps and wayfinding and things like that. Let's talk about weather. That's the second most common thing you're going to want to know about when you go hiking. Is it raining, snowing? Is it blizzard, that kind of thing? What am I getting myself into? Well, I prefer WeatherBug. There's tons of weather apps out there. You probably have 4 or 5 on your phone. I'd delete them and let's start over with some better ones. So I choose WeatherBug as my primary just because I think their graphics are better. I think their radar view is more accurate, as shown right here. And their forecasting, I think, is better than AccuWeather, which is my second best. Their hourly forecasting, I think, is more spot on when it comes to temperature and precipitation. Plus, their mobile app does not have annoying pop-ups and ads, unlike AccuWeather. AccuWeather does all sorts of pop-ups, and it's just annoying. You constantly have to close them. Also, they have alerts. If there's a weather alert to come up, fire, lightning, tornado, thunderstorm, blizzard, you'll get weather alerts either pinging you on your phone or on the desktop. So WeatherBug is my go-to, and I didn't have AccuWeather queued up here, but I'll queue it up. That's also my fallback and my redundant one because I compare these two, especially if I'm going on a guided tour and I want to get the most accurate information. Well, I'll compare the two. I'll look at both the radar maps and then I'll compare their hourly forecast and daily forecast. So the one thing that AccuWeather does do and WeatherBug does not is this minute cast. It's pretty cool. and it's pretty accurate. They will tell you with a pretty certain degree of accuracy precipitation amount within 2 hours. Okay, and this thing is pretty spot on. You can kind of count on this within a 20-30 minute range if this is going to get precipitation or not. So that's one thing AccuWeather has going for them, is this one little feature here. Everything else I'm just annoyed by, because I think their mobile app is just kind of stinky. Okay, so that's weather, pretty critical. Next is wind. I'm in Wyoming. Wind is a big thing here, and specifically, we look at two things: sustained winds and gusts. And that will determine your level of pleasure or pain on a hike, and also affects temperature. That's called the wind chill. Wind plus the air temperature equals wind chill. That's the real field temperature, or the feels like temperature. So we need to factor this into account as well. Their graphics, as you can see on the bottom here, are outstanding. It'll be in kilometers per hour, but you can change it to miles per hour, which I've done here. And as you can see, it's a calm day. I only have 2 miles sustained right now. 10-mile gusts coming from the west, these little directional arrows over here, which is awesome. And this little timeline thing that pushes you through. Looks like the storm's coming in. We've got some snow. So it also does, weather in addition to wind. And they're pretty close. And they even get close to accurate predictions of snow accumulation, rain accumulation, 0.1 inch, 0.2 inch. Pretty good. So again, this is a third fallback for precipitation amount in addition to wind. Windy is awesome. It's probably my second favorite app that I use on my phone. WeatherBug, Windy for weather conditions and wind conditions. That's awesome. Kind of my backup one, and a cool one I'll pop up every now and then, is Wind Compass. It combines the compass, which you should have on your iPhone or smartphone free, and you should use that occasionally to navigate on your maps, right? You should have a compass, and you should also have a old school analog compass, right? That just uses the Earth's gravity and magnets, right? So you need that as a backup in case your phone dies, you lose it, it falls off a cliff. So learn how to use maps, learn how to use a compass, print maps if you're going to new areas. You get it. I won't preach to you, but that's always have a redundant plan, especially if you're going into new areas. But as far as wind compass, this is cool. It combines the compass and wind direction and sustained winds and wind gusts. So at a quick view, you can kind of see which way it's going, even sunrise, sunset. Super easy app. I download them both, and occasionally I'll toggle between Wind Compass and Windy. Windy tends to be more reliable as far as the wind sustain and gusts. Wind Compass is just kind of cool. Okay, I just kind of like it. Next, lightning. Very important if you're in Thunderstorm Alley, or if you're in the Colorado mountains, like I used to climb big 14ers there and be on top of big peaks when they didn't have these apps back then. And you're just, kind of looking in the distance for thunderstorms coming your way and praying they're not close. I've almost been struck several times because we didn't have these apps back then. And this thing is outrageously predictive. You could do I think 50 or 100 mile radius around your location, and it will send you pings on your phone, vibration alerts or audible pings when lightning is within that radius. And it'll keep hitting you, keep pinging you if lightning strikes keep occurring. So you can keep looking at your phone, seeing when this squall is coming towards you on these lightning strikes, and it is incredibly predictive. So this is a very reliable, robust app that I just used last year to find cover when the storm was coming my way. And you could literally see the dots on the map getting close to you. It's time to take cover, get to lower ground, and cover up. So my lightning tracker, it's an app from the Apple Store here. Also, another great app that does lightning. It also does weather and avalanche, but I use it for fire primarily, because out here we do have wildfires, forest fires, and in the Rockies, it's where we got wilderness and forestry, you're going to have forest fires. So it gives you color-coded stuff. The gray one says it's contained, tells you the acreage, where it's located, blah, 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 the name of the fire. Let's see. And then these big red ones meaning that they're active, right? So they color-code it, really easy to see, Happy Jack, where it's located. So, hey, if you're going on a hike and you're just curious, am I walking into a fire? This is pretty serious stuff here. definitely open this up. If you're going on especially a backcountry adventure, this is critical to have and be aware of. And check this out. I just became aware of this. All these purple and orange dots over here, these are lightning strikes. Man, so this app is sweet. You can turn off all these lightning strikes within the last 24 hours, the ones in the last 12 hours. Just really cool stuff. Air quality. Yeah, I've never even played with most of this stuff. So this thing is outrageously cool. And I think it's a government entity, fireweatheravalanche.org. And again, it's also an app that's downloadable on your phone. So that's it, guys. These are my apps. In addition to jalapeno poppers, these are the ones I love. Use them, embrace them. These are tools to help you guys be outside safely and comfortably and enjoy your hiking experience. And if you ever forget what I'm showing you here, check back with this video. Just go to my website, hikingbuddy307.com at the bottom. And please be safe out there. Enjoy your hikes. And we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.